unlike last week, this is episode 88 of the Out of the Minds podcast. I'm Sean Oakley.
We got it right. And I'm Sam Cooper.
Yeah, apologies for that. I didn't realise, and I must have just skipped one and titled the episode wrong and caught it when I uploaded, but hey, it's all good. Okay, so welcome back, guys. Sam and I are not playing this evening.
Yep, I'm taking a nice night out of gaming.
I am playing Chris Burnett from Tin Squadron. Still looking at the two lists that I'm looking at tweaking, evolving for the Welsh Open. Interestingly, Sam and I have a small local store event in Plymouth by the time you guys listen to this, yesterday, but for us tomorrow, which I'm taking a slight tweak on the list I'm flying tonight. And so onto that, I am taking the decimator list I've been talking about recently. Mordecai with Dauntless, Proton Bombs, Fifth Brother, and Death Troopers. Moth Gideon with the Cloak and Device, Servitude Modulators, and Elusive. Boy Vader, and Captain Feroff in the Reaper with Seventh Sister.
And up against you is big Chris Burnett with a pile of resistance stuff.
Ooh,
and I suppose you want to go in more detail, don't you?
I mean, you could just read it out, it's fine.
So we've got Poe Dameron in the Falcon with Trick Shot, Composure, Novice Technician, Ray Gunner, False Transponder Codes, Engine Upgrade, and Ray Millennium Falcon. The usual annoying Battleship Poe, Trick Shots, fixes himself, all that jazz.
Launches over rocks.
Exactly. Barrel rolls occasionally. Lula Lampard in the A-Wing with Heroic, Predator, and a shield upgrade, so a 5 health A-Wing, everyone's favourite. Kazuda Ziono in the Fireball with Heroic, R6D8, shield upgrade, and Kaz's Fireball. BB-8 in the pod with automated target priority and Han Solo crew, which I don't actually know what Han Solo crew does for the resistance.
Han Solo crew is, and this is from memory, so not word for word. It gives you the red evade action, and you also gain an evade for every ship at range 0 to 1 of you.
Yes, that is true. I've just looked it up. And rounding it out, we've got Finn in the pod with Heroic, Elusive, and Perceptive Co-Pilot. So we've got Invincible Finn, 2-point BB-8 scores objectives, Annoying Kaz, Annoying Lulo, and Hammer Poe, basically.
Yes. Right. So getting into it, we are playing Scramble. Now, for anyone watching on YouTube, I actually forgot to press record, so you're joining us at the start of turn 2. Nothing really interesting has happened. We'll catch people up with it. But basically, Chris was first player for setup. He set up on my board edge, as you must, as close to his edge and as close to the centre as you can. And I tried something a little different, which was basically to shove it deep into his corner. My hope was that either he leaves a ship, and looking at Chris's list, likely one of the pods that I can jump on and try and kill and then claim and circle back round, or he ignores it. And then rocks, we've got the 3 small, 1 large, 1 medium, and the finger rock. And it's a reasonably elongated oblong around the centre, I suppose.
Basically, yeah, there are 3 obstacles along the centre line, and then 3 obstacles about halfway up Poe's, Chris's half of the board.
Yeah,
essentially, in like basically a bit of a squeezed rectangle.
Yeah, I basically set up, not in order, but I ended up with Morna on the left, Gideon at a 45-degree angle, I think to the right, and slightly more towards the centre, Captain Feroff, and Vader on the right. And Chris set up Lulo and Poe on the right, on my right.
Opposite Vader.
Opposite
basically.
Vader. Finn and Kaz in the centre, and BB-8 opposite that objective I'd stuck in his corner. Obviously, I've done it well out of order, but it's fine. And then turn 1, to just catch up, BB-8, I think, just did a barrel roll and 1 banked, so he's next to the objective. Kaz and Finn both do a 2 straight. I think Poe did a 3 bank to start skirting around the outside of the asteroid field, and Lulo, who's on the far outside, did a 3 straight, maybe a 4 straight, basically go with Poe. And turn 1 is where I make my first mistake, which we don't get to see. What I should have done here is hard turned everybody down towards Vader and gunned for Poe. Because if Poe had gone into the centre, I've got a reasonable gap I can get the decimator through into the centre after that hard turn. And the TIE is manoeuvrable. Feroff, with his ailerons, is surprisingly manoeuvrable. Poe is arguably the biggest hammer there. Between Ray and a lock and trick shot, he just constantly wrecks things. Yeah. But he has 1 defense dice.
Yeah.
And if I can stop him modding said defense dice, like, he's only 7 points, but I have a much easier time of it if he's gone. And I've played Chris enough with this list or similar to know how bad Poe can be, and I should have just turned in on him. Like, maybe not with Vader. Like, Vader disengages for a turn to let the others catch back up. Sorry, you were going to say?
I say, and also, if you look at Chris's list, 3 out of his 5 ships are basically built to be annoying to kill. Yeah. Like Finn is Finn. He does his Finn stuff, adds focus as protective co-pilot, strains himself. He's basically constantly got 2 evades. Basically, BB-8 has Han Solo. If you're close to him, he's got plenty of evades. He's tricky to kill. Kaz rolls more dice. Like, he's tricky to kill. Heroic. Whereas Lulo and Poe, Lulo is a 3 dice gun if he's stressed, but obviously tanks his defense, and Poe is in a Falcon, a tanky Falcon, because Force and Ray and all that stuff, but it's still a Falcon. Honestly, the pods and Kaz feel more like a trap. Yeah, like, they're annoying, and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm gonna shoot, and I'm gonna do something, but it's cool." And then when you try to actually shoot them, they're hard to kill, and when you get through to them, it's like, "Oh, I got 2 points for BB-8." Woo. Yeah.
Which is why I tend to not go for Finn, because it's a waste. But I don't do that. What I do is I try and be smart, and it sort of backfires on me. Because of where BB-8's set up, I kind of want to send something up there as a threat. I don't really want to send the decimator, and Vader's out of position. And we all know Gideon's going to spend most of the game cloaked, so that kind of leaves Feroff. So what I did with Feroff was I ailerons 1 bank to the left, and then did a 3 straight.
You're trying to scoop around the left-hand side of the board, come in behind, and annoy BB-8.
Yeah, my thinking is the next turn I ailerons right and 3 bank in. And I dial in a 3 bank with Morna to jump over the other side of Feroff. But as you can all see, that did not fit. Maybe if I had them set up a bit closer, it might have, but that's just a tricky opening maneuver I didn't really need to do, especially considering Chris was first player, so he put BB-8 down before I put Feroff down.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, you knew where Finn and BB-8 were.
I mean, admittedly, I think my thinking at the time was I wasn't sure where the rest of the list were going down. So if the rest of the list went down that side, I wouldn't do that. But in hindsight, like, if I'd set up sort of more towards my left so I could just go straight at him, if he does set up his list, I ailerons and bank rounds and come down along my board edge.
Yeah.
Gideon did a straight and barrel rolled, I think. And I just did a 1 straight with Vader to play safe, basically.
And so that looks like a cloak token on Gideon, and you spent a charge on your cloaking device.
I did a maneuver and cloaked with them. I can't remember what it was. Might have been
looks like you've done some sort of bank.
Might have been a one hard. No, because I set up at an angle. I might have set up facing the other edge and one harded. I don't know.
Okay.
I did something.
Either way, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So we go into it and turn 2, and I am first player. We overlap on 3, 4, and 6.
Yes, and 6.
So we go to system phase, and BB-8 does a barrel roll. So 1 bank in and claim the objective.
Barrel roll to the left, get a stress, 1 back in and claim the objective. Happy days, silly BB-8, do your stupid stuff.
So I do the ailerons right with the Reaper, and I 3 bank in, and I take a focus, because I wasn't sure that was range 1.
Yeah, that doesn't look like range 1. And even if it is, BB-8 just goes, haha, mine.
Exactly. So why waste the action? So I take the focus. Finn does a 1 straight and double focuses. BB-8 banks and claims.
1 straight. One straight and claim.
And claims. I do a 2 straight with Morna. Because I was worried about Finn and Kaz just coming in the side and shooting me. And I kind of have the angle. My thoughts were, if I go straight this turn, a 3 bank puts me nicely in that center position next turn.
Yep, that makes sense.
I feel like I've missed my opportunity to jump on Poe, because he's got that effectively free boost.
Yeah,
he could just scoot down to the bottom now. By the time or turn back in, I could have hard turned, I suppose, but then because of the weird bumping angle, it leaves me at a weird angle to then chase him. And I thought, all right, I have got an opportunity to start shooting something.
I think the correct choice is just target lock like a Finn here. I think is the correct choice to me.
What did I do? I think I reinforced. Sorry, it's hidden behind the decimator. I do a 2 straight with Gideon. 2 bank, with Gideon, and I take a focus. Now, this I was not expecting.
Yeah, so Kaz has done a 3 bank to the left and is basically looking at where everyone probably thinks Vader's coming. And then Lulo does a 2 hard to the right, looking towards the center. Because basically, Vader has a bit of a channel. It looks like he wants to aim through. Lulo then does a focus boost. And if Vader has gone straight, he might be in a spot of bother.
So 1 straight wouldn't have been too bad. And 1 straight
would have been fine.
So nearly dialed that in. But I didn't think Kaz was going there.
Yeah.
And I haven't. I dialed in a 5 straight.
All right, afterburner's boost.
Right. Now, are you ready for the mistake that costs me the game?
You don't afterburner's boost, do you?
I target lock Kaz.
That's silly, because you could afterburner's boost and then target lock Kaz.
Yeah, but if I afterburner's boost, I don't think I have a shot.
Yeah, but no, it's not about having the shot. It's like you've got a thing, target lock for next round, or hell, target lock someone else. Yeah.
So I knew immediately after, well, certainly this round of shooting, that I'd made a massive cock up. I also think, actually, what I should have done is, if I was going to stay there for the aggro, I should have target locked Lulo.
Yeah. Because
I got a range 1 shot into both of them. But
Lulo has 2 defense and Kaz has 3.
Yeah. But just that, so afterburners, I can't afterburners left, because I think Kaz blocks that. Because I did look at that. I wasn't sure an afterburner straight gets me out of Lulo's arc.
You might be right there.
An afterburner's right definitely does. And I could have afterburners right, and I could have barrel rolled to the left. And I think that gets me far enough past the rock to get out next turn. And I don't take either of those shots that way, I don't think.
I think that's the correct choice.
Yeah. Because I do. Like, Poe shoots me, but Poe's going to shoot me anyway, so... Yeah.
Because right now, essentially, the play currently is like you've got 2 guys who can shoot a pod, and he's going to have 3 guys that can shoot Vader, and that's not a good trade.
Well, I was hoping that Morn has got a range 3 onto Kaz, but
it also looks like we missed. Oh, Kaz claimed the center objective. By the way,
sorry,
that's the one thing we missed. Yeah. Because the thing is also when you're here, like at least even if you just boosted straight and you were still in someone's arc. At least you're not in bullseyes, because right now Kaz has 2 rerolls of R68.
Yeah, see, it's funny, and him claiming was another thing that kind of swung the decision, because I'm sitting there thinking he's got no focus.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got heroic, but the odds on 3 blanks, I mean, it happens, but the odds are low.
Isn't he rolling like 4 dice at you, though?
Yes, he is. But I wasn't thinking about what he was rolling at me.
In fact, so's Lulo.
Yeah, well, I knew Lulo was, but yeah, again, hindsight, it's a great thing. At the time, I was just thinking, how much damage can I put through on Kaz? Yes, I fully accept that this was a massive cock-up, and what I should have done was afterburners and barrel rolled. I mean, hell, if I was really worried, afterburners focus into a roll.
Yeah.
Like... But
no, I think with the Force, the focus were doing a mistake because you want to be not stressed for sure next round.
I think like full Force, I probably wouldn't have, but I think it depends. I think once I'd done the boost and seen where I was, if I know I can get out of Kaz's and Lulo's arcs, then yeah, definitely just barrel roll because I'm only taking Pose and.
Yeah, because I was going to say like, and also we're talking about the afterburners barrel roll life thing. I also think the main mistake here is committing Vader to a 1v2 at best.
Well, I was not expecting Kaz to be there.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about like. Let's say Kaz doesn't go there. I don't think Vader versus Lulo and Poe is particularly in your favor.
So I was expecting Lulo to be somewhere where she was, but. And if Chris had done what he'd done with Lulo and not done what he'd done with Kaz and kept Kaz with Finn, which is what I was expecting.
Yeah.
My plan was 5 straight, afterburners left.
Yeah.
Take a lock on one of those guys in the side. And Chris quite rightly saw that coming and shut it down.
Yeah.
So that was the reason for the 5 straight. So...
Yeah, like I said, I understand the reasons. Like, I still think I just think turning away with Vader is the best play here, and just regrouping. Like,
yeah, I agree. Turn up to the board and go thing. But I feel like I've just compounded and you will see very shortly how badly I compound the error.
Well, like I say, like I think the error is committing to it, and then it's compounding by being like not dodging the arc. Yeah, because like the way I'm relating to this, like I'm imagining like this is the sort of thing I would do as Sunfac, where I'd just be like, I should just leave, but when I'm like, no, actually Sunfac's great at range 1, let's go to range 1. I'm like, yes, but everyone else is also good at range 1.
Yeah. I think that's the problem, isn't it? I sit there thinking, Vader's my hammer, he's great, he'll dish out a load of crits at range 1. It's like, yeah, sure, he's rolling 4 dice, but I'm taking 8s back. So
yeah. And then you're not likely to kill him. I think that's the thing here. No. Kaz has 6 health. Lulo has 5. Kaz has 5 health. I got to remember he takes damage.
He's got his thing. I know he's got 6 because he's got a shield upgrade.
Oh yeah, they're 6 health normally, aren't they?
Poe does a 3 bank, which puts him nicely broadsiding with Vader. He takes a lock, as you would. I range 1 into Kaz. I speculatively look for a Gideon, but no such joy. Maybe it was range 2, because I'm only rolling 3 dice. Must have been just outside of range 1.
But yeah, I'm going to double down on. I'm going to double down on saying like when you checked your arc, you should have shot Lulo.
What? Yeah. Oh no, I know what it is. Poe locked Vader. False transponders took my lock.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah. That makes sense.
False transponders took, so it is range 1 into Kaz, but no lock.
Okay, that's fair. And you spend 2 force.
I spend 2 force.
Because you rolled hit focus, spend 2 force of 3. Kaz rolls blank focus.
So it takes 3, but I kind of needed a weapons failure or something in there.
Yeah, you needed those crits.
Yeah, exactly. Poe unsurprisingly chooses the obstructed shot.
Has a range 2 obstructed shot into Vader.
So 4 on 4.
Target lock and the 4. So Poe rolls hit, focus, blank, blank.
Spends the lock.
And gets hit, blank.
Spends Ray for 4. Vader rolls 1 evade.
And 3 blanks.
3 blanks. Yeah, like 1 bit of pain. All right, 1 bit of pain. I would have taken 2, but hey, but back up to full force.
Yeah, back into full force, but shields down on Vader.
Luna, range 1 into Vader.
Yeah, I think you. Oh, I was going to say you luck out a little bit here, but I didn't see the crit. So Lula rolls crit, hit, focus, blank.
Predator's the blank.
Oh, of course, has Predator. Predator's the blank.
And spends the focus for hit, crit. I roll 2 evades.
Okay.
And the crit is a structural damage.
Oh, that's awkward for Kaz.
They'll be right. Oh, man. Morna. I think I go range 3 into Kaz. Because I've got to just try and do something.
Yeah, I feel like at this point going into Kaz is the play, because he's like, just try and maybe you make him dead and he just gets to shoot, right?
Yeah. Or worst case, I sneak a crit through and I get lucky. No such joy. 2 hits. He gets 1 evade, so it takes another one.
Okay, so Kaz is on 2 health left.
Kaz is on 2 health.
As long as Vader doesn't die, this isn't actually the end of the world.
Kaz, range 1's into Vader. Rolls crit, focus, blank, blank. I'm in 2 bullseyes.
2 rerolls from the droid.
And ends up with hit crit. I've got
2 focuses.
I've got 2 greens. I roll 1 evade. The crit is a loose stabilizer.
Ooh.
It's not good. I got a 1 health Vader that can't turn.
5 straight and fix. It's the only option.
So, spoilers, I spend a long time debating whether I'd 5 straight or I 1 straight because I think the 5 straight's obvious. And if he turns Kaz and Lula to try and catch that, I slot him behind them.
Yeah.
But then,
yeah, so I think 5 straight and fix and bring Morna into the middle.
So, spoilers, I do 5 straight because I was worried about Poe just sneaking around behind, basically.
Yeah.
But
that was my thinking, is because if you 1 straight, Poe is going to kill you.
Like he can't block the 5 straight. So, but Farrah gets a shot this round. Range 2 into BB-8. I roll 1 hit and some evades. So that's that. And then Chris claims 2 points on the objectives. Oh no, sorry, Finn gets a go. We forget about Finn.
Finn does get a go. He rolls hit focus, adds a focus result with his ability, spends a focus token for 3 hits because it's Finn and that's what he does.
Morna's range 3, and she rolls an evade.
Reinforce cancels the hit, so takes 1 damage. So really, the person you really wanted to have taken 5 damage, if any, has taken 1 damage, and the person you ideally would have wanted to take maybe 1 damage has taken 5.
Yes, that was not my best round. I remember the planning phase trigger with Gideon, which is good because that's about 50-50 for me.
Nice.
Although, to be fair, I'm very good at putting him in a position where it doesn't matter what he rolls. Oh, that was a question actually I meant to ask you, and we can do it on the podcast. So, obviously, if you decloak into a ship, it fails. If you decloak and land on a rock, it fails. If you decloak and your template would go over the rock, but you'd jump the other side, does that still fail?
I'm pretty sure it fails. I'm pretty sure it still fails.
Yeah, so your template just can't touch the rock.
I can quickly look it up randomly. But let's continue on.
Yeah, I will carry on playing.
So my thought here is that Feroff just needs to commit and claim that objective. He's next to Morna needs to come into the center and present a threat, and then Gideon can honestly Gideon maybe decloaks and starts shooting.
So I wasn't sure. Watch me change the dial on Vader about 4 times here, from 1 straight to 5 straight to 1 straight to 5 straight. I wasn't sure about Feroff being able to claim because I was like, if BB-8 goes second, BB-8 can just claim. So what I do, and this is a mistake, and it's something I thought about at the time and then just took a gamble. I dial in a one sloop to the right, planning to ailerons left first.
Okay.
But then BB-8 does that. So we go into turn 3, and Chris is first player. And this scuppers me. He barrel rolls, takes the stress. I reach for Seventh Sister because I really don't want him being first player. But no such joy. Finn does a 1 bank and takes the focus. BB-8 does a 1 bank.
Oh.
And takes a calculate. I try the ailerons and it bumps. Am I one? Oh no, sorry. I didn't do a loop. I did a 1 bank in the end, sorry. But I was still planning on aileronsing. But that 1 bank just sticks me on the rock right in front of BB-8.
Yep. Oh, that's awkward.
What I should do is never dial in a maneuver that will land you on a rock if you can't ailerons.
Yeah, especially when there's someone there that can like easily block it, like relatively easily block your ailerons.
What I should have done was dialed in the 1 sloop, but 1 sloop to the left. And then if the ailerons fit, I sloop in behind the objective.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't,
if they don't, at least you just bump.
I'll bump into BB-8, not. And actually, that would have been quite good because that would have shut down in barrel rolling that way the next turn. But alas, I don't. I roll and take 1 damage on Feroth. So we go to the 4s, and it's Kaz who does a 1 hard and claims the bottom objective.
Yeah, because now Chris is 3-0, and if
3-0,
if you don't start claiming, this is going to spiral out of control very quickly.
I do a 3 bank with Moff Gideon, and I claim the center objective.
Nice.
I then 3 bank with Morna and take a target lock onto Kaz.
Yep, that makes sense because Kaz is right there.
Yeah, and he's got 2 health left, and I want to kill him. Chris dials in a 2 hard with Lulo, and then remembers Death Troopers, so no stress.
Yeah, it keeps the stress. Nice.
And I'm a little bit sad here because I'm like, oh, I know Kaz is almost dead, but Lulo, range 1 with no greens and stressed.
No greens and stress, which means she's down dice. But no, I think going for Kaz is fine. Like at this point, you just need to kill him.
Yeah.
Like remove the ship. Lulo's probably not going to be able to remove the stress next turn either. So,
Poe does a 2 hard, and he just takes the focus. And Vader does a 5 straight.
Afterburners, fix the loose stabilizer.
Afterburners, fix the loose stabilizer. Poe gets a range 3 shot into the decimator. Rolls focus blank, spends Ray in the focus for 3. Morna rolls a blank, takes 3.
Oof.
I mean,
but not that bad.
It's all right. Still got 12 left. Then it is Lulo who has a range 1 into the decimator and rolls hit crit out of hand.
Ooh, right. That's a bit unfortunate.
Right. So I take the hit. The first crit's a fuel leak.
Okay,
second crit's a disabled power regulator.
So triggers the fuel leak. 4 damage onto Morna.
4 damage.
Okay. So 8 health left.
So yeah, I've lost 7 health in a range 3 and an unmodded. All right.
Yeah, but the like a range 3 into just you go from 0 to 1. It's sort of like the same as a range like 1 for everyone else. So I think losing, like when you have no defense dice and no reinforce, losing like 5 health from 7 dice isn't like completely out there.
Morna takes the range something into range 2 into Kaz. Kaz does not get his extra dice. I fifth brother for hit crit crit. Kaz rolls an evade and dies.
Good. That's something you needed.
BB-8 range 1s into Feroth. Rolls hit, eyeball, blank, spends the calculate. So basically, it doesn't matter what I roll; it's an evade, which is an interesting thing because like hit, I suppose hits, changing 1 hit to 2 hits, it guarantees 1 goes through.
Yeah.
But no more than 1, if that makes sense. You can't. Yeah, but you can't spike.
Yeah, you can't randomly spike. But I think what this is still the correct play because what it does, it just says, okay, I'm dealing 1 damage. Because if you left it,
I agree. I completely agree. It's the right.
Yeah,
it's just an interest. It always find it interesting.
Yeah,
and then Finn gets a shot into Gideon. He rolls crit. Hit blank, takes a strain to add a focus, spends the focus for 2 hits and a crit. I roll 4 evades. And then
for cloaking.
Points 2-1 in Chris's favour. So 5-4 in my favour, but 1 health Vader. So
okay, what I want to see, Vader 3 bank afterburners claim that far right objective.
I don't do that.
And Feroth gets in the way of Lulo. And Morna just stays where she is and does stuff. Okay. That's what I want to see.
So I don't do any. Well, I do that, but I don't do it in the way I should have done it. As I will show you when we get there.
Because to me, Vader on 1 health is just a 6-point fortress that you need to try and keep alive as long as possible. Like, him dealing tons of damage is now opportunistic rather than anything else, because currently I think almost any ship on Chris's list is happy to just face trade because you're not likely to one-shot them and any random spike will get through. So I think Vader just needs to play ace. And in this case, I think you can definitely go and punish BB-8 on that far right objective because you should be able to block Lulo with Feroth.
So what I should have done with Feroth, and I can't remember exactly what I should have done a 1 straight.
Yeah, don't bother ailerons doing just 1 straight focus.
Because that blocks the fast blues.
Yeah.
Which will keep Lulo range 1 of Morna, if I remember what I did with Morna. BB-8 does a system phase barrel roll. Chris is first player again, turn 4. And I 7th sister here, because what I want to do is... Yeah, sorry, he's just checking where he wants to go. I 7th sister, I give him a tractor. And I spend a while like trying to work out where's the best place to put him, because obviously he can turn.
I would boost him.
And I think that's what I do in the end. I do boost him to basically just try and get him away from the objective.
Yeah.
I believe he takes the stress to rotate to face me, which makes me think he's doing a 1 bank to the right. Otherwise, he's clipping a rock.
Oh, no, he's bumping into Feroth.
He's bumping into Feroth. I drop a proton bomb.
Yeah, no, I like that.
Finn's going somewhere down there, so...
Yep, I like that.
Finn does a 3k. Oh, yeah, 1 banks to the left and bumps BB-8, which is fine because BB-8 can barrel roll out of that next turn.
Did you check for range 1 of Morna? Yes, you did.
I'm checking for range 1 of Morna. Takes the red calculate, actually, which is interesting because that stops him being able to... and then changes his mind. That was it.
Yeah.
And I do a 1 bank. Is this... I'm trying to remember if this is ailerons, whereas... No, it's just the 1 bank. I do a 1 bank
just the 1
with
bank.
Feroth, and I do think
Are
I
you
should...
trying to coordinate Vader?
Wait.
No, this is a...
Yes, that's it. I do coordinate. Sorry, there was a... coordinate Vader a focus. I do a 1 bank with Morna because I want to get out of the proton bomb.
Yeah.
And I thought going straight has a chance of clipping Lulo and keeping me in range. and I reinforce to the rear.
Yeah, makes sense.
Gideon does a 3 bank to try and get out the proton bomb and takes a focus.
Yeah, 3 bank to the left. So currently Feroth, Gideon, and Morna are all facing like Chris's left-hand side, so the top right of the board, essentially. So next turn's going to be interesting.
Lulo does a 5 straight, but doesn't clear anyone, so goes into the back of Morna and stays stressed. And Poe does I think that was a 2 straight.
Yeah, that looks like a 2.
I believe boosts this turn. And
into the proton bomb.
Into the proton bomb.
It.
And claims the center objective.
Yep. No, I actually really like that, Chris, because you are not in a position to reclaim for another 2 turns, pretty much, unless Vader...
Spoilers, and it costs me the game. I don't think I claim a single objective again.
Yeah, because I'm looking at this is actually kind of genius, because unless Vader comes in and grabs that far right objective, Chris has just guaranteed himself 6 points, basically.
So I do a 3 hard with Vader. And I take a... I afterburners boost.
And then you target lock BB-8.
And I target lock BB-8. The proton bomb, unfortunately, catches Gideon as well.
It is what it is.
And I take a direct hit.
Direct hit. Oof.
Yeah. And I will, at some point in the near future, realise I didn't take a damage off, but Finn and Poe have both lost a shield. So Poe, I believe, goes... range 3 into Vader, who has a structural damage, so 3 on 3. Rolls hit crit out of hand and a focus, spends the force for hit crit. I roll 2 evades and a focus, and I spend a force for 3 evades.
Yep, makes sense.
Vader range 1s into BB-8. I roll 1 hit, 3 focuses. So I spend the focus. I change 1 to a crit with advanced targeting, 1 to a crit with marksmanship because he's in the bullseye for 2 hits and 2 crits. BB-8 rolls an evade. Takes a shield, a blinded pilot, and a something that I'm sure I'll put on the overlay in a minute. Or not. Don't know. Then we go to where Lulo.
This is Lulo. Lulo shooting Gideon, it looks like. No, Vader. Shooting Vader.
Yeah, shooting
Vader.
Range
3, yeah.
Gets 2 hits. I roll 1 evade.
Unfortunate.
And Vader dies. Then we go to the 4s. Morna goes range 2 into Poe. I actually wonder whether I should have shot Lulo here.
I don't think there's a good decision.
I can't mod against Lulo, but I've only got 1 force for mod. Yes, she's got an extra dice, but she's also a lot easier to clink something off. I roll hit, focus. I spend for 5th brother for hit crit. And Poe loses, rolls a blank.
Rolls a focus and takes 2 shields because he's used his force on the attack.
Takes 2 shields. And that's where I remember I haven't done the shield, so that's his shield's gone. And that's it for my shooting. BB-8, I think goes into Morna. Rolls 1 crit, which goes through. And that's a loose stabilizer.
Yep.
Which is slightly awkward because I think a slow straight hits that
it
mustache
does.
rock.
I think it hits the mustache rock.
I've also, at this point, got 2 ion tokens from the disabled power regulator.
Yeah.
So I'm fully aware that not the next turn, but the turn afterwards, I'm doing an ion maneuver. Finn goes, I think, range 3 into Morna. Rolls 1 hit. I get 1 evade. And points, it's 3 in Chris's favour. So at the start of turn 3, I'm 5-4 up. At the start of turn 4, I'm 5-13 down.
Yikes. No, we're on turn 5 now. That was turn 4 we just did.
Yeah, so, sorry.
Start of turn 5.
So the start of turn 4, I was 5-4 up, and the start of turn 5,
13-5. Oof.
So yeah, it's an 8-point swing. But you're right. I should have dialed in the 3 bank with Vader. Claim the objective. If he dies, all right, he dies. But I'd still probably have the shot into BB-8. Who's tractored, so all right, I don't get the extra dice, but BB-8's down a dice.
Yeah.
And at least that's 1 less point for Chris, 1 more for me. I'm like Farrell's stressed, so he can't turn around. Morna's not in a particularly great position.
Yeah, I'm looking at this picture. I'm thinking Chris basically especially now Vader has gone Gideon. If you want to stay in the objective game, Gideon has to 3 bank to the left to try and claim that far one, but BB-8 is just going to be right there.
Yeah.
Faroff is a little screwed. Morna is very screwed.
So I roll in the planning phase and don't have to decloak.
You also flip the reinforce to the front with Morna, which is quite interesting.
Because at this point, I just have I think at least 2 of the charges left. I'm not sure this game goes another 3 rounds. I might as well just keep it and flip it back to the following turn. I've got one on the back if I need it. Because I
think at this point, Morna just accepts that the blue stabilizer's going off, and you just make a turn and try and come back around.
So we go to the system phase. Nothing from
bomb, I like it.
Nothing from BB-8, which surprised me a little bit.
Does he not just die?
Yes, he dies.
Curious.
Oh! I know what the crit was. It's a damage sensor array.
You can only focus. Okay,
can only focus.
Go.
That's what it was. And I drop a proton bomb because I need to just try and blink damage where I can. So, Finn does a 1 straight, and barrel rolls to the right.
Getting out of the way of Poe makes sense.
BB-8 dies.
Yeah, one's basically does a 2 straight over the rock and dies.
Morna does a 2 bank. I can't go straight. That. Yeah, except that I've got a damage from the loose stabilizer down to 6, and I take a focus. And I'm not sure why I took the focus. What I should have done was reinforce to the rear.
Yeah, or I've just target locked Lulo.
I'm not used to flying ships with no defense dice. So I still get in the habit of taking a focus for defense.
Yeah. I just was hey, you're taking the focus for defense on a decimator. I like it. It's optimistic, Sean. I'll admit that. It's a very optimistic defensive focus.
Maybe I get arranged, but I'm used to green dice. Even if it's not a lot of them. It's a reinforce would serve me better.
Yeah, I think in this case you just target lock Lula. You need to kill stuff. You're gonna lose anyway. If Mortar dies, you're gonna lose. So you're either losing to objective or losing if Mortar dies. So you may as well at least try and kill something.
Yeah. I 1 bank Feroff to clear the stress and take a focus. And I 1 hard Gideon.
I don't like this.
Yeah, it's not ideal. Decide I don't want to take the proton bomb and die and barrel roll out of the way. Lulo does a 5 straight because she wants to get out of range 1 of Morna. And I believe focuses boosts into a rotate. Yeah. I try and check for Seven Sister, nope. But no such joy. And then Poe does a 3. I want to say 2 bank.
That's a 2 bank.
And takes a target lock onto Morna. The bomb just gets Poe. who takes a loose stabilizer.
Okay.
Which normally I'd be like, great, there's a rock in front of him, but it's Poe, so...
Yeah. Well, okay, so here's the thing. Like, if Morna spikes, all of a sudden that loose stabilizer through a rock is a little bit dangerous.
Why? Do you still take it?
Well, no, like,
No,
if, like Poe can ignore the rock, right?
Yeah.
But like, if Morna spikes, Poe going straight through the rock is a little bit dangerous because like the loose stabilizer is still
yeah. Poe has a range 3 shot into the decimator, so suddenly that focus on defense isn't looking as bad.
Yeah, with the force.
He rolls and spends something and ends up with 3 hits.
He still has his target lock, unfortunately.
I roll a blank. So Morna is down to 3.
It's all right. Still not dead. You got your shot. It's going to be key. I can feel it.
Oh, and also there's a reason why I knew there was a reason why I didn't target lock anybody. Because the moment Morna engages, she's ionized.
Right. She's going to lose the lock.
And lose the lock.
That's fair.
Lulo does a range 2 bum shot, I think, into Gideon.
I mean, why not? 1 damage. What's all you need?
And then apparently changes his mind. Because I'm suddenly down dice. Must have gone into fair off.
This looks like it's going into Morna.
It might be going into Morna.
Range 3 obstructed.
We're at 3 obstructed. Gets 1 hit. I get 1 evade. Morna range 3s into Poe. Rolls hit, eyeball, 5th brothers for a crit. Still got my focus token.
Yay! It was useful.
I just see if Gideon might randomly be in range 1 so I can Gideon, but he's not. But Poe blanks out.
Hey!
So it's down to 4. And has taken a... that's
and the
where
was a fuel leak.
Yeah, right, so he is down to 4. And I think at the end I've killed Poe, and Chris is like, no, he's got 1 left because I was going off the overlay, and I've double-clicked there.
Right.
So he's on 4, not 3. Spoilers, Poe survives on 1. Finn goes range 3 obstructed. I don't know. Range. No, not obstructed. Just range 3.
That's just range 3 into a cloaked Gideon.
Into a cloaked Gideon. Rolls 1 crit. I roll enough of 8. But Chris scores another 3 points on objectives.
Yeah. All right, cool. Gideon, next round. I'm already skipping ahead. Gideon, decloak towards the center. Claim that freaking objective. Morna, do whatever you do because you're thingied. Feroff, try not to die.
No, I think I do the wrong thing with Feroff here. I think I do the right thing, but in the wrong direction. I haven't updated the overlay, but it is currently 7-16 in Chris's favour. I think I missed the last 2 lots of 3 points. I'm not forced to decloak. Unsurprisingly, I decloak with Gideon. I don't fly my 1 health TIE fighter through a rock. Yeah,
full disclosure, he's literally directly behind the mustache rock. He needs to decloak.
The problem is, I'm pretty sure... Oh, yeah, I know what I do. So, when I set my dial, I forget that I can decloak in the system phase.
Right, okay.
So I've dialed in a 1 hard to the left. Because I was at the time thinking, oh, that's the only one that possibly doesn't clip that rock. Because the mustache rock is nicely curving away. Yeah. And then I think we get to system phase and I'm like, oh, I can decloak.
Oh, God. This is going to be painful. Okay, so here's where I'm at. Like, you need to make sure Chris does not score 3 points off objective this round. If one of your ships dies and you lose, so be it. You lost. But if Chris only scores 2 points this round, you have a chance. So you need to make sure he scores 2 or less off objective.
Yeah, this is the point. We set dials, and then I go, oh, planning phase, roll it, don't I? And then I'm like, oh, I can decloak. And what I should have done then was gone and changed my goddamn dial because we were still technically in the planning phase.
Yeah.
But hey, we go to the system phase, and I decloak. Finn does, I think that was a 2 straight, and clears his stress, and does the Finn double focus. Feroff. Ailerons to the right, 1 hard to the right. I was trying to put some distance.
Yeah.
Like Poe's broadsiding. If Poe turns up that way, he's either going to have to rotate so he's got less mods or he's not shooting. But what I think I should have done in hindsight was done it the other way.
Yeah, I agree. You don't go the other way. Try and reach for the objective.
Well, I wouldn't be able to
get in the way of Poe.
The one hard's red.
Right.
All the hard turns on the Reaper are red. But what it does is if I do get to another round, I'm there to do it. And I'm presenting a shot into Lulo. So, but yeah, I don't. So I do the one hard with Gideon back up to the board edge and I barrel roll because I didn't think I was range one of the objective to claim it. So I'm trying to block Poe.
Okay, makes sense.
If Poe's done a hard turn, if I can block him onto that rock, then hey, because it wouldn't surprise me. Chris will just take the damage from a loose stabilizer to get the.
Yeah. You know what I think you needed to do? You needed to modulate us this turn.
Yeah, I'm not very good at modulating.
Yeah.
I should have. The moment I decloaked, I should have modulated, but Morna does what did I do? A 1 straight and takes the focus because I have to. Lulo does a 2 bank to clear the stress and barrel rolls. And
He's trying to line up a shot onto Gideon. Yeah.
Poe does a bank, which goes in front of Gideon. I believe he spends his charge to boost. And then takes a. We were looking at whether it was obstructed or not. I think he might have just boost and then takes a lock. On to say, or there's a focus
lock from last round. He had a lock from last round.
Focus. Anyway, he rolls crit, hit, blank, raise, spends the lock into another blank, then raise for hit, crit. I'm reinforced to the rear, so I take hit crit, and it's a panicked pilot. So Morna is on 1.
But not dead.
But not dead. Lulo has a range 2 obstructed into Gideon. And rolls hit crit out of hand.
Nice, that's fine. You've got... Wait, what happened to the elusive, my friend? Elusive!
Yeah, I know. I talk about this afterwards. I roll evade 3 eyeballs. That overtune would have come in useful there. Forget to elusive and kill myself. So, you know. Morna. Yeah, I know. I don't know what it is about elusive. It seems to be the thing that I have a real trouble remembering I've got on ships. Morna range 2s into Poe. Rolls crit, blank, eyeball, 5th brothers for 2 crits. Poe rolls a focus. So takes crit, fuel leak for 3, which is why I think I've killed him because I was going off the overlay.
Yeah.
So I am in fact not on 14. Ignore that. He's got 1 left, and that is the end of the game because Chris scores 3 points, and it is 22 to whatever I was on before, like
7
6, 7. Yeah, not my best showing.
No, I like that. Oh, that. Yeah, but still, though, that was an interesting one because I think. I don't know. I've no idea what your mind was in by the end of that. But like, if Gideon overtunes, remembers elusive, like he lives and is there to prevent Poe from modding shots and has his own shots, right?
We can't stop Poe modding shots, like his shots, can he?
Sorry, his defense stops the modding on the defense and has his own shot with calculates.
Yeah, and then I probably do the 1 through to kill Poe, but then it's still 22.
You still lose, but
like broad strokes. I think 2 things cost me this game. Oh yeah, two little errors that I count as 1, which is getting too aggressive, too committing with Vader, and then not afterburners out, and not keeping an eye on the objective game enough. Because Chris scored, 4 turns of 3... At least 3 turns of 3 points. I think possibly 4. And if I'd kept him at 2-1 for those turns, it's a much tighter game, especially if I clip Poe off at the end.
Yeah. Chris, I believe, ended up getting like 12 points on objective because he only killed 9 points of your ships.
Yeah. So yeah,
that was a nasty one. Yeah, I mean, it
was good and bad. Like, it was interesting because it's stuff for me to keep an eye on, I suppose. Remembering I can decloak when I actually want to. Get so in the mind of, it's the planning phase to force you to decloak. Because no, you can still decloak if you choose.
And also, I think what also let you know is like, because did Gideon do anything that game?
No, I had him badly out of range for most of it.
So I was just thinking, like I don't think you ever triggered him.
No, I've played a couple of games since at Club Night, and I've got much more consistent results with him. I think what I needed to do was actually just shoot him in further, like even put him ahead of Morna if needs be.
Yeah, I think he needs to be ahead of Morna because, yes, okay, he's a cloaked TIE fighter. Sometimes he's going to die, but he's a really annoying person to be like, do I shoot the cloaked TIE fighter with a focus?
The issue I'm having is with Feroff. I'm just not getting the use out of Feroff.
I mean, we've discussed this at length.
So spoilers for the podcast. I'm taking that list to the tournament that we're playing tomorrow, with the exception of I'm trading out Feroff for 2 Black Squadron Aces. Yeah, they're the I3, aren't they? The BSAs.
Yeah.
My thoughts on that being, like, I'm pretty sure that Feroff is probably the better ship, but I don't have the, I suppose, experience. Used to playing with him to get the most out of him. Seventh Sister is great. We all know she's great, but because I'm not flying him properly, I suppose, it's never in range. Also, combo with Death Troopers, if you can't remove your stress token, it means you're not getting a stress token.
Yeah.
And I think just having, like, if I have 2 TIE fighters that are worth 2 points, I'll be much more willing to just yeet them at an objective and claim the objective. All right, if they die, they die, but it's 2 points, not 5, 6. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. That's the tweak to this list that I'm looking at. Well, I am taking tomorrow, and we'll see how that goes.
Meanwhile, I've decided to go old school with my droids. I've got 6 vultures, Captain Sear, and a hyena bomber with plasma torps.
Nice.
And we'll see how it goes. We got 6 energy shell vultures, 3 of them with killer otherwise with crack shot. So we're going to have some fun. We're going to get ridiculous. And I'm going to see if I can how many bullseyes I can line up.
No, I don't think even I joust that.
Yeah, I was going to say, whoever wants to joust it can. It's going to be an interesting one.
I don't know. Do I joust that?
The funny thing is I literally don't know how well it jousts these days. In theory, it should joust pretty good, but I'm pretty sure if I joust an FO block, I lose.
Well, I genuinely think I've got a reasonable chance of certainly killing 2, maybe 3.
Yeah. I mean, it depends on what range we get, right? Like, if we're at range 2...
I want range 1.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if we're at range 2, all of a sudden I'm a lot more survivable.
Yeah, because your shells don't range 1, do they? So
yeah. Basically, if I get the shell engage, I win. If I don't get the shell engage, I don't win. It's as simple as that.
I want range 1 for Morna, range 1 for the BSAs and Vader, and Gideon can sit at range 2 and you can shell him all you like.
Yeah, because basically, if someone's at a bit of a random discussion at the end of the podcast, like if someone's at range 1 of me, you can just Gideon all the defenses, so that my stack of calculates don't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
But if I get range 2, I've got a decent shot at dealing a giant chunk of damage to Morna.
Yeah.
Like, you have to reinforce, but with shells, a lot of the crits will go through.
I think personally you shell into Vader.
Yeah, well, it depends. If Vader's sat in front of me at range 2, yes, I get Vader. But in my head, in a joust, Vader's slightly off to the side.
Yeah. But we better wrap it up there because we are going on a tangent. We will.
Tangents are glorious.
We will let you guys know next week how we got on at the SOAR event. My hope is, because we're giving Chris a lift up, he has to wait around for us while Sam and I duke it out in the final.
Yep. That'd be funny.
We'll make the deal here that if it's me and you in the final, we'll just joust and get it over with quickly so we can come home.
Yep, I like that plan.
We'll let the dice decide. But yeah, on that note, guys, we will wrap it up. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you guys next week.
Yeah, ta-ta.
Bye.